hello there. New intro music again. Kind of builds the excitement, doesn't it? I hope you like it. Let me know if you like it better than last week's. That's if you were watching last week. Yes, so welcome once again to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. That kind of works, doesn't it? Yes, welcome once again to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. Lots to get through tonight. Of course, there's the Fan of the Month quiz. And as promised, there is a new topic this week. It's Name the Jumpsuit. So I hope you've been polishing up on the names of the jumpsuit, and I will explain how that will work in a second. I've also got to say welcome to the moderating team, Ludane. Ludane has offered to help out Maxine, the Elvis family. Maxine, it can get a little bit fast at times, the comments. So thanks very much, Ludane, for stepping in and helping us both out, because, as I say, it can get a little hectic at times. And I would just like to remind people that please stay on topic. And of course, the topic is Elvis Presley. We don't want any sort of wandering off the topic or political views or anything like that, because this isn't really the place. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody or anything like that, but I'm just saying that the topic is Elvis and we're sticking on that. And if things do sort of stray off or anything like that, then I'll leave it up to Maxine and Ludane to do what they are asked to do, which is to moderate. Another thing, James Burton, as a lot of us probably know, James was unfortunately diagnosed with kidney cancer, and he underwent surgery last Monday the 4th, I think it was, or something like that. And it all went well, and he is home now and resting. And so James, get well soon. That's all I'll say. James Burton, great guitar player, and of course played a big role in the career of Elvis Presley. What else do I want to say? I want to also mention this as well. Leslie Pilling, of course, you probably know, I've mentioned this a few times. This is the Oscar night coming up on March the 25th at the Haydock Golf Club. And as you can see, Elvis Big Screen Disco, the tickets are £25 per person. This obviously really only applies to people in England. And Lauren Knight will also be guesting. But something else also that Leslie sent me during the week is Jeweled Jumpsuit Creations by Leslie. She's working on 2 special pieces which will be auctioned for charity at the night. So it's for a good cause. And as I say, tickets £25, March the 25th. It's the Oscars night. And the winner is Elvis. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. They deserve it. And what else have I got to say? The quiz. Yes. Now, how this works. Of course, coming up after the quiz is the topic. And as you can see, the topic is, what effect did the divorce have on Elvis? Now, I thought long and hard about this. Will I cover this tonight? Especially with it being the 49th anniversary. It was October the 9th, 1973 that their divorce was finalised. And I've been thinking all week, will I, won't I, will I? And I've decided, yes, I am going to cover it as a topic. And we'll get to that after the quiz. So let's do the quiz. And the answer given must match the name of the jumpsuit that is listed on the website elvisconcerts.com jumpsuits database. Okay, so that is the way, because I know that some jumpsuits have different names and things like that, and some people would call the peacock jumpsuit the Promised Land jumpsuit. Well, it's not really, even though it appears on the Promised Land LP. So that's the way it's going to work. Name the jumpsuit, and I want the name that appears on elvisconcerts.com/jumpsuits database. Okay, so if we're ready, Maxine, if you're ready to moderate, and also Ludane, you can help me out and let me know who gives the the correct answer first. And obviously, I'm going to be giving a picture of the jumpsuit, but it's not the complete picture of the jumpsuit. It's just a little sample of the jumpsuit. And you can tell me what it is. And you get the little jingle that I introduced last week, which was Bring Out the Booze, Grandma. I hope you're liking that one. So here we go. Jumpsuit number 1. And this is it. Right. What is the name of that jumpsuit? One of my favorites. Oh, Ludane. Well done, Ludane. Yes, it is the Red Ladder. Jack Mullins, Paul, Mark Green, Kirsty, just Ruth, just so many people actually getting that right. And I thought I'd start you off with an easy one. Salam says something ladder. Well, look at the color of the ladder there, Salam, and you'll know that it's a red ladder. But Ludane is going to get the
Bring Out the Booze, Grandma.
Well done, Lou. Okay, great. Pretty sure that Maxine is going to confirm that it was Ludane. Yes, thank you, Maxine. Okay, and Norset says, way to go, Ludane. Right. Number 2. This is jumpsuit number 2. What is that one? I hope these pictures are clear enough, but I think they are. I'll work on it next time I do this, name the jumpsuit, to make sure I get really, really clear pictures. Okay. Yep. I'm seeing there that Elvis Austin is saying pinwheel, and that's exactly what it is, pinwheel. So Elvis Austin gets
Bring Out the Booze, Grandma.
Elvis Austin has won last month's Fan of the Month prize, and it was, I'll just remove the pinwheel one there. It was that. I think Elvis Austin has asked for the 4K version, so I'm going to get the 4K version lined up for you, Elvis Austin. And I've also got what I think is a very, very, very good prize. Not for this month. I mean, there is a good prize for this month, but next month I've got a prize lined up, and it isn't even available yet, and that's why I can't give it this month. It's because it's not being made available for sale until November. So I'm going to be giving that as the prize for November, and I'll tell you near the time what that is. Right, so we've done the pinwheel, we've done the red ladder. This one might catch some people out because they do know it maybe as another name. But here we go. This is jumpsuit number 3. There we have it. What is the name of that jumpsuit? Yeah, Elvis Austin got pinwheel. Yes, thanks, Ludine. Okay, I'm watching very closely here. Okay. Right, so it looks very much like Jack Mullins has got the turquoise concho, which is exactly what it is. That is what it's listed as on the website that I mentioned. So I'm going to give that to Jack.
Bring Out the Booze, Grandma.
Because I've got it down here as turquoise concho. Some people would know that as the Now, Elvis Now suit, because that actual pose there I lifted from the cover of the album Now, Elvis Now. Okay, right. So yeah, I'm going to give that to Jack. Well done, Jack. Past winner as well, Jack was. Right. Yes, thanks, Ludane. Jack Mullins, thanks for confirming that. Great, because sometimes it doesn't come out the same for everybody, but when Ludane and Maxine confirms it, that makes it all the more easier. Right. So the next one, suit number 4. Are you ready for this one? Right. What is the name of that suit? As listed on the the Jumpsuit database on elvisconcerts.com. Okay. No, not waterfall, not comet, not starburst, not stars, fireworks. Okay, yes, we do have somebody. And the name of that suit is the Adonis. And that shot actually is lifted from Madison Square Garden. It's the Adonis suit, and the chipmunk has pneumonia. And I'm just going to write chipmunk because I don't want to write all that again. So, chipmunk, you get...
Bring out the booze, Grandma.
Yeah. Thank you very much for taking part so far, everybody. That's great. Jack Money says, Doe, of course. And Bossa Nova Baby says, oh, yes, Adonis. Yeah, nice one. Now, suit number 5. Again, let me see if I can just clear that one off. This one's quite well known. I think a lot of people are going to get this. Nice clear shot of it as well. Maxine says, I'll admit I don't know half of these. There's so many. There is a lot of suits. I could do this for a few weeks, actually, if people like this as a topic. Yeah, a lot of people saying Arabian. And as far as I can see, the first person that said Arabian was Salam. But I'll just check to make sure that that is correct by the moderators. Yeah. Salam Selah. Yes, well done. You get that, Salam.
Bring out the booze, Grandma.
And, she says, yay. I like the way she's entering into the spirit of things. It's me because I'm Arab. It's my favorite. Haha. Okay. And Ludain says Salam as well. Thank you. Thank you, Salam. Thank you, Ludain. And finally, and again, I think there will be a lot of people that actually get this one. And it's this one. Again, there is a couple of names for this, but it's as listed on this particular website. No, it's not Gypsy. Indian Feather, Gypsy. Elvis Austin says Indian Chief. And yes, Elvis Austin. It's Indian Chief.
Bring out the booze, Grandma.
Well done, Elvis Austin. I think I'll just check to make sure the moderators saw your name first. Let me see. Yeah, Maxine says Elvis Austin. That's great. That's great. So, I think that was a little change from the normal sort of... I'm not doing any mystery voice this week. I'm not doing any voices or things like that, or film clips. They were good. The movie clips were good, and I think the mystery voices were good. But I just thought we might sort of change it up a little bit this week and give you the jumpsuits. And I can probably do them maybe a few more, because, I mean, there was a lot of jumpsuits. And Ludain says fun quiz. Yeah, I thought it was as well. And what you can do is you can kind of maybe just brush up on the names of the jumpsuits, and then what it becomes then is it becomes a speed round more than anything else. You know which you know which jumpsuit it is. It's just whoever can get in there the first. My favorite jumpsuit is the owl. 100+ jumpsuits. Yes, there certainly is. Yes, there is. I'll give you a little tip or a little inside information. Next week, I might do name the Elvis co-star. So if you want to brush up on the co-stars, but again, it's not going to be just straightforward. I'm not just going to show you a picture of the co-star in an Elvis movie, and you have to name them. I'll put a little twist on it, and we can sort of test people's knowledge of those sort of things as well. So yeah, that was the Chief and the Arabian and the Adonis and the turquoise concho, the pinwheel, and finally the red ladder. The Red Ladder from August, September 1970. And there's a great, great video of Elvis on YouTube wearing the red ladder suit, singing Make the World Go Away. And it's just a superb performance. It really is. Don't forget, please like, thumbs up, and share this video. If you're watching this video on playback, there's a share button beneath the video. You can click on it, you can copy the link, and then you can paste it to anywhere. You can paste it to another YouTube channel. You can paste it to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you like, and you can share these videos, and it all helps. So the topic, as I say, I did actually think long and hard about this. 49 years ago today, we had let's see now, let me have a look here. Just want to get something up. Yeah, don't forget, you can also just subscribe, click the bell, and click all, and that gives you the all the notifications, because I know that some of the, if you click personalize, I don't think you get hardly any. So that's just for new viewers now. If you want to subscribe, like, and share, and also if you're watching this on playback, you can leave your comments about anything I've covered during the show, and especially maybe this topic now. And we'll be opening the phone lines in a few minutes in case anybody wants to ring in and discuss this topic, which is on Tuesday, October the 9th. Elvis and Priscilla met at Los Angeles County Superior Courthouse in Santa Monica in the courtroom of Judge Lawrence J. Rittenband, and after 20 minutes, yes, just 20 minutes, they were granted a divorce. So sort of, let's see now, 1959 to 1973, you've got 13, 14, 15 years maybe gone in 20 minutes, which is quite sad. Priscilla hadn't seen Elvis in a while and was shocked at his bloated appearance and bewildered at the dramatic physical change since his super fit appearance on the Aloha from Hawaii TV special that had aired in the US the previous April. They held hands throughout the proceedings, and she kept running her hands back and forth over his poor, swollen fingers. They emerged still holding hands, and with Elvis in what appears to be a jogging suit with a flag on the lapel. Priscilla waved as she walked towards her car with her sister Michelle, and was relieved when she saw that he winked back at her. 6 days later, Elvis was admitted to Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis in a semi-comatose condition. He'd started having trouble breathing in California and chartered a plane to fly home. On the aircraft, his breathing got worse despite the administration of oxygen. Dr. Nick came out to Graceland and was shocked by what he found. Elvis appeared so swollen to be virtually unrecognizable and barely able to breathe. He tried to take care of him at home, leaving his office nurse Tish Henley on duty at Graceland. But when 3 days later Elvis's condition dramatically worsened, the worried physician had no choice but to admit him to hospital, Baptist Memorial Hospital. Dr. Nick had him seen by a team of physicians who all agreed that his condition was grave. After satisfying themselves that he was not suffering from congestive heart failure as a result of the obvious buildup of fluids, they diagnosed an extreme drug reaction, most likely to steroids of some sort. Nick questioned him about the medication he had been taking, but there appeared to be nothing in the various prescriptions that would account for his cushion-eyed appearance. Now, cushion-eyed obviously means very bloated face. His face was very bloated, and we've seen those pictures from 1973. The doctors noticed black and blue marks all over his body, and Elvis responded that they came from an acupuncture session that he was having, and that he had been receiving for the past 8 or 9 months, believe it or not. No one could understand how acupuncture needles could cause such a dramatic reaction until Elvis explained that the treatment was administered, but not just with the usual assortment of needles, but with a syringe. Now that's strange straight away because acupuncture isn't normally administered with a syringe. The doctor had told him something about using a local anesthetic to cut down on the pain and maybe a little cortisone to speed the healing process, but he wasn't really sure what exactly was in the doses. Dr. Nick called the doctor in California, and after informing him that Elvis was a very sick man, finally got out of him what anyone around Elvis could probably have told him. Elvis was getting almost daily injections of Demerol, an opioid painkiller similar to morphine. Dr. Nick started Elvis on methadone, a treatment frequently used to combat heroin addiction. Because one of the long-term effects of cortisone can be to aggravate the eye condition glaucoma, he called in the ophthalmologist, Dr. Mayer, who found that Elvis did indeed continue to have a mild case of the disease in both eyes. A liver biopsy found that the organ was infiltrated with fatty cells, a condition that very likely brought on by medication abuse. Elvis was gradually weaned back to health. Dr. Nick continued to address some of the other health issues, the hypertension and digestive issues. Now, what we see in the Baz Luhrmann movie is at odds with what really happened that day. Most of us realize that the scene in the movie showing Elvis and Priscilla in the limo at Los Angeles airport didn't happen, but was used as dramatic license. That's not the issue, though, here. My question is, how much of an effect on Elvis's physical and mental health do you think the divorce had, if any? Is it a case that Elvis's health issues were nothing to do with the fact that him and Priscilla split in 1972? He wasn't obviously going to see as much. Maybe he wasn't going to see as much of Lisa as he normally had done, although he still was out and about and touring a lot prior to 1972. Were those health issues going to happen anyway, or were some of the health issues due to the fact of his mental state and physical state caused by the separation of him and Priscilla? Now, I'm going to open the phone lines, and if you do want to call in about those issues I've raised, you can, by all means, because I'd love to hear what you think, if the divorce had any effect whatsoever on Elvis's mental or physical health. And we have a call already. Let's see what we got here. Oh, dear. I pressed the wrong button. Hello? Yeah, okay. I'll try that again. That was my fault, actually. The first caller would have got through, but I had inadvertently cut them off. If you believe that. I hit the red button by mistake. So if the caller would like to call back, by all means, call back. Yes. Right, I'll make sure I press the right button this time. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Maxine.
How are you?
Great. So what do you think?
I think it was a combination of the drug that he previously took just after he got out of the army.
Okay.
Like with his mental state and the illness. But I think it must have been hard for him at the beginning of the divorce. Most definitely.
I mean, do you think, so you don't really think then that it had any effect, mental or physical, on him?
Not his physical state, no. His mental part, yes. Because no one knew what he was thinking at that time.
Yeah. So you think that maybe it made him depressed?
Yeah.
He sung more sort of, the songs after sort of 1971 were more sort of maudlin, sort of things like Separate Ways, Always on My Mind, those sort of things. Where do I go from here? Those sort of things.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think then that the story might have ended differently had they stayed together?
I'd say it's 50-50. It could have gone either way.
You think that
Because
Yeah.
he should have given up the drugs. That should never have been allowed to have taken place. But if they stayed married, he could still be here, and he could have had more children, which he wanted.
Yes.
So I think he would have been a lot happier.
How do you think it was portrayed? Do you think it was portrayed well in the Baz Luhrmann film?
That's a hard one, because I know the airport scene didn't obviously happen in real life, but
No.
I'm glad they sort of, in a way, brought it up to show you how he must have felt at that time.
And do you think he mouthed to her that, or he sang to her or whispered in her ear, as they claim, I will always love you, that the line from the Dolly Parton film?
I don't know.
I mean, I know for one thing that one of the Memphis Mafia said that he loved Priscilla, but he wasn't in love with her anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He loved her. He loved her as Lisa Marie's mother.
Yeah. She's a hard one for some people to understand, because my mum and dad got divorced, but they still had that friendship, love, and they had the love and respect for each other.
Yeah.
Which obviously he had with her, but it's those memories that he was always going to have with, because he was with her for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
1959, wasn't it, when they first met?
Yeah.
So it was a long time.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Maxine, for the call.
That's all right. Thanks, Steve.
All the best. Bye.
Oh, dear. Bye.
Bye. Okay, right. Yes, so that's Maxine. If anybody else would like to give a call in and give me their opinion on what they think, obviously keep it respectful. This isn't a sort of who's to blame sort of thing. It's Elvis's fault or it's Priscilla's fault. It's what you think, if any, that there was an effect, a mental effect or a physical effect on Elvis after the divorce. If you want to give me your opinion on if there was any effect that the divorce had on Elvis after or even prior to October the 9th, because she sort of broke the news to him in February 1972. So it's sort of 18 months after that before the divorce came through. But there was a call here coming in. I'll see if I can find that person and see. Yes, this is the person here. Hello. Yeah, there's a lady here trying to call me, but unfortunately she doesn't seem to be getting through, which is unfortunate because I'm sure she has a good point to make. So that's the question I'm asking tonight. What effect did the divorce have on Elvis, if any? Or do you think that he'd moved on and it was just a case of, yeah, I hope this lady can get through. Hello? No, it's not connecting, is it? I wonder if I try and ring the lady back. I wonder will that make any difference? Return call. Okay. Ringing, as you can hear.
Hello?
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? It's Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. You were trying to ring. Hello? Okay, yeah. Well, I could hear her, but she obviously couldn't hear me, unfortunately. So if there's anybody else that would like to ring in about that subject, what effect did the divorce have on Elvis? Okay. Hi, Mark. Can you hear me?
Hi, Steve. I can hear you.
Yeah. Brilliant. It must be the lady that's trying to ring. It must be her end that's a problem. So how's things? Are you keeping busy?
Busy bee, yes. Busy time at the moment now. Right at the Christmas run now. From now up to New Year. Yeah,
oh yes, yeah. You're going to be probably busy every weekend, are you?
Yeah, I am now. Yeah, I am.
Great.
Yeah, I can't complain. Enjoying it. That's the main thing.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion on the divorce?
It's a hard one. I think probably affected him a little bit, but he kind of moved on from Priscilla, hadn't he? And he was still touring. He was a busy man. He got involved, obviously, with a few other girls slightly after, and then obviously got involved with Linda. Had a good four-year relationship with her.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think. I've read myself, like, he loved Priscilla, but he didn't love her the way, supposed to have been like. But yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? I think probably he should have been around a little bit more, may have helped him along the way for the drug kind of thing. But I just think no one could have stopped Elvis, because Elvis just wanted to do that, and he needed that. And even Linda couldn't control it at the end, could she?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you've read the book by Sally Hodel as well, Destined to Die Young, you'll know that he, we know that Elvis did have quite a few quite serious health issues as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he wasn't taking the medication just for fun. He did need the medication.
Yeah, I think because he was so busy and touring, and he didn't have time to spend to go to doctors. Obviously, he had his own doctor, but he didn't want to spend all that time, weeks in hospital. And I suppose the Colonel didn't want that either.
No.
Want to get Elvis out on the road and on stage. Even when he was a sick man, as he still wanted to get him up on stage.
Yeah.
And them times where he shouldn't have been, he needed more of a rest. I always say to myself that really Elvis shouldn't have toured at all in '77. I think he needed a complete rest, and maybe he would have still been with us, for a longer term if he had.
Yeah, well, Larry Geller said that when they went to Hawaii in March, that he was going to make major changes at the end of 1977.
Yeah.
Of course, unfortunately, he never got around to that.
Yeah, I think so, because, even though Elvis was great at the end and the voice was great, but everybody sees the image.
Yeah.
And it's the image that you don't want, isn't it? Of a man who's still got the voice, but he's a sick man, isn't he? And you don't want to you portray that. But I think the divorce, I suppose, he didn't have time to spend that much time on his own. I suppose he did miss his daughter, of course, at times, and he wasn't. But I think they still had a good relationship, I suppose, between them, didn't they?
What about the way it was shown in the Baz Luhrmann movie? Did you like the way it was handled in the movie?
It was a nice little set, but I think my wife kind of said this. You can tell Priscilla put her little spun bit on that.
Yeah. Because
it kind of ended with Priscilla, didn't it? It kind of, she was the last one there, even though she wasn't the last one there.
That's right. That's right.
She wasn't, and I really feel like Linda should have been in the movie, maybe even at the end, a little glimpse of Elvis having a new lady in his life like Ginger, and he was engaged, and it was hopefully going to get married again. You don't then just put something like that, but then the tragedy ended, didn't it? He dies. But I think it'd be
interesting. It'd be interesting to know, is there more after that scene from the 4-hour version that we're going to get in probably a year or two? We're not going to get it this year now. I think it's going to be a year or two before we get it. But it'll be interesting to see if the ending is slightly longer and more drawn out in the 4-hour version.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think we will get a little bit more. I've seen a few little snips on YouTube of a few clips I haven't seen before. A few little bits are coming through, so I'm sure there's going to be some more exciting bits for us to see, and let's hope there is a little bit more of that there.
Yeah.
It's, I've noticed tonight start of Strictly was Elvis themed. Do you know?
Oh, right.
Yeah. That a dance sequence of probably 3 or 4 songs from the movie.
All right.
Yeah, so that's and they got a really good round of applause for that. So again, it's just spreading the album, isn't it, as well?
I might have a look at that on catch up when I get a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Cheers, Mark.
Steve.
Cheers. Bye. Bye. Something I haven't done. I haven't done the poll. I'm going to do the poll now, and you can be voting on that while we're talking and so forth. And I'm doing the Elvis history, and it was it was given to me by an idea. Somebody else gave me this idea. I can't remember their name now. I'm sorry, I didn't make a note of it. But they said, why don't you ask people, would you have preferred to have been Elvis's lover, friend, or employee? Which is quite a a clever sort of question, I believe. Now, of course, the ladies are going to jump and say lover straight away, but just think about it for a minute, ladies. Would you have preferred to have been Elvis's lover, friend, or employee? And you can be voting on that as the show goes on. I'll tell you the result at the end. Now here we are. Let's have a look here now. Hello. That's unfortunate. For some reason, that lady can't get through, and I would love to speak to her. And I've tried to ring her, and she's obviously tried to ring me a number of times, but it's just not connecting. Yeah. So, would you have preferred to have been Elvis's lover, friend, or employee? Yeah. It's quite an interesting one, that. So now, if you're watching this on playback, unfortunately, you won't be able to vote on it, but you will hear me give out the result. Hello, Salam.
Hi, Steve. How's it going?
Well, congratulations on getting some questions correct.
Oh, I'm so excited. I got one last week and one this week.
Tell me, did you like the jumpsuit questions?
I did. They were really hard. I was trying to study last week. I actually looked at that website, but they didn't stick in my memory. But I do know the Arabian one because that's my stuff.
Yeah, and it was a good photograph. It was a good, clear photograph of the Arabian as well.
Yes, and it was beautiful.
I'm going to make sure next time I do that, I'm going to get really, really good, clear photographs for everybody because, it's only fair. You can't have a blurry photograph and then ask people to name it,
Well, the true fan names it, as we see.
Okay, so you're obviously ringing about this 49th anniversary of the divorce, and do you think that it had any effect on Elvis's well-being?
I don't know about his well-being because he was already going through things. I don't think this helped, and it was probably not the cherry he needed on top of everything. I think his ego was more hurt than anything. I don't think he was that bent out of shape about it. I think his ego was more hurt because, she did go with Mike Stone and, he was Elvis Presley. How could she? And I think it was more of an ego thing more than anything.
Yeah. You think it's sort of, he might have felt, well, what will the fans think of me now?
Yeah, because he was the king. And in addition, he gave her everything she wanted in his mind, right? So, money and comfort and, he was the provider and he was providing. So I think he was it's an offense to him being a provider for his family. And, we know that he was touring and probably with many women, but I don't think he accepted it from his partner. Yeah.
How do you think it was dealt with in the movie? Do you think it was dealt with correctly in the movie?
It was okay, but it was very dramatized. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't appreciate how dramatic that was.
Okay, that's fair enough because we know that probably didn't take place. They came out of the courtroom, they partied at the courtroom, and that was it. I think that was the last they saw one another for months after that. Unfortunately, we lost Salam. Unfortunately, we did. There's definitely something not quite right with the phone lines tonight. There is a lady trying to get through to me as well, and she can't quite get through. Okay. No problem. Right, shall we do... don't forget, you can still vote on would you have preferred to have been Elvis's lover, friend, or employee? And I think that is quite an interesting poll. And I'm not going to take credit for it. It was suggested by a listener or a viewer to this channel. And unfortunately, I neglected to make a note of the name. But you know who you are. And I thank you very, very much for that. And also, if you're watching now and you can think of a poll that you'd like to get a result on what fans think, because this is a fan channel after all, and it's interesting to find out what's going on in other fans' heads and their opinions about Elvis. So if there's a poll that you'd like me to throw up here on a Sunday, I will do that. Just send it in to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com, and we'll run it for you. I thought that was quite a clever one. Would you have preferred to have been Elvis's lover, friend, or employee? Okay, thanks, Salam, for ringing in. I think we kind of finished the call anyway. Unfortunately, the call dropped. Maybe a power outage or internet outage on your end. So we're going to do Elvis history. No, we're not. We're going to see if this person can get through. Hello? No. Not going to happen, unfortunately. That's a shame. Okay. I will just do something here to save me from interruption. Okay. Right. So, yes, October the 9th, 1954, Elvis played the Eagles' Nest with other acts, Tiny Dixon Band and the Eagles. 1955, I have got some pictures later on. Hang on a second. 1955, Elvis began a week-long tour with the Johnny Cash, Wanda Jackson and Porter Wagner at Cherry Spring Dance Hall, Cherry Spring, Texas. 1956, Elvis paid his dentist $150 for plastic inserts for his upper anterior teeth. I suppose that anterior? I suppose it's the front ones, is it? 1962, it happened at the World's Fair. 1965, here we go, picture. The compilation album Flaming Star and Summer Kisses hit number 11 in the UK. Elvis's single I'm Yours hit number 11 in the US. There you are. How's that? I'm Yours. There you go. Backed with It's a Long Lonely Highway, which is a great number. A great number. At home for the first time in 7 months, Elvis purchased a 1966 Olds Tornado, is it? I think that might be a typing error on my behalf. I think it's Olds Tornado, unless somebody'd like to tell me, is it a Tornado? And 3 days later, he bought a 1966 Electric Glide Harley Davidson for $1,941 from Taylor Harley Davidson sales. He liked to ride the new bike around the Graceland grounds. 1967, principal photography for Stay Away Joe. 1970, Elvis bought a black 1971. I thought I had a photograph here. Maybe not. No, I thought I had a photograph here of Elvis buying the 1971 Stutz Blackhawk from Jules Mayer Pontiac in Los Angeles and turned it over to George Barris for customization. According to Barris, the car, the first of its kind in Los Angeles, was meant for Frank Sinatra, but Elvis managed to talk Mayers into selling the car to him. Yes. Elvis gets precedent over Frank Sinatra. I like it. 1972, from October the 8th to the end of the month, Elvis watched almost every night a movie at the Memphian or the Crosstown. And of course, 1973, Elvis and Priscilla Presley were divorced after 6 years of marriage. The divorce was finalized at the County Superior Courthouse in Santa Monica, as mentioned earlier. After a short hearing, only 20 minutes, Elvis and Priscilla came out of the court walking hand in hand. 1974, you would have seen this a second ago. Elvis performed at the Expo Center, Abilene, Kansas. And after his show, Elvis flew to Lake Tahoe because he was due to start an engagement a few days later. 1975, we've got Elvis, Milo High, the personal pilot of Elvis, flew his boss and 8 others to Dallas and back. And there's a photograph of Elvis in Dallas looking absolutely cool as a cucumber in that coat and the shades. Photoshop, yes, now Photoshop. If there's a picture that you keep seeing that's obviously photoshopped and it's annoying you, you can send it in, and send in the original as well, of course, if you have it, and I will feature it in a future Photoshop section. This one is Elvis and Lisa in the living room of Graceland, it looks like the living room because there's the television over his shoulder in the music room. But of course it's not, because if you look at this side by side, you'll see that Elvis's head is sort of 1968, 69 sort of period, but it's also the fringe is going the wrong way on the Lisa photograph, and that's because what they've done is they flipped it. So if you flip it, it's a lot nearer to that one. And then the Lisa, just her head has been lifted from the December 1970 shots of Elvis, Priscilla and Lisa. So you can see that the face and the hair and everything is exactly the same as that photograph taken in 1970. And they've just put it on another little girl's body. So that is Photoshop for this week. And as I say, if you want to send your own Photoshops in, you can, and I will feature them in a future program. That was Elvis history and Elvis Photoshop. I want to do the... I need to get rid of that because I don't need to read that anymore. I want to do a song I wish Elvis had recorded. That's what I want to do. And, if you're going about your daily business and... I'll just give you a quick reminder. The poll, you can click on the poll and it'll open up for you, the blue band. And it's, would you have preferred to be Elvis's lover, friend or employee? And I'm going to look forward to announcing the results on that in a second at the end of the show. A song I wish Elvis had recorded. As I say, if you're going around about your business during the week, if you're out shopping, or you hear it on the radio and you hear a song that you wish Elvis had recorded, but he didn't, unfortunately, get round to it, or just couldn't do it, or just whatever. For whatever reason, he didn't record this song and you think it would have suited him, well, then send it in to me and tell me the song and the artist, the original artist, and I will pick one and feature it in a future show. This is one that I have been listening to on and off for decades. Now, I'm not really an Elton John fan, but it is an Elton John song. It's a ballad composed and performed by English musician Elton John with lyrics by Bernie Taupin. It is the 8th track on his first album, Empty Sky. It was originally released by Guy Darrell and Roger James Cook simultaneously as a single in August 1968. The original recording from Empty Sky album has Elton John on harpsichord and organ. It is the only track on the album featuring only Elton and no other musician. He wrote the song in the style of a hymn. In 1972, Elton re-recorded the song during the sessions for Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. The new recording used piano instead of harpsichord and strings and oboe. The song was originally issued as a B-side of the hit single Daniel. And it is a song called Skyline Pigeon. And as I just said earlier, I'm not really an Elton John fan, but my elder brothers were. And I remember hearing this album, and I remember hearing Daniel, and I remember the B-side of Skyline Pigeon. So that's how I kind of got to know this song, even though I'm not really an Elton John fan. I'd urge you to listen to it, and I'll leave a link below if you're not familiar with the song. I'd urge you to listen to it because I can imagine Elvis singing this song, and it would have suited his voice as well. So, as I say, check out the link, Skyline Pigeon, Elton John, a song I wish Elvis had recorded. So let's have a look. I won't close the poll quite yet. If there's still a little bit of time, if somebody does want to ring in and speak to me about the topic, which is, of course, what effect, if any, did the divorce have on Elvis? It's 49 years ago today that the divorce was finalized in 1973. If you're watching this on playback, I'd love to see your comments about it. If you think it had any effect on him whatsoever, did it have any effect on his mental health or his physical health or anything like that? Or would his life have played out the way it did anyway, even if they'd have stayed together? That's what I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear your opinions. If you don't want to call in, that's fine. Leave your opinions below as well. Another mention about the jeweled jumpsuit creations by Leslie, working on 2 special pieces. This is for the Oscar night that's coming up on the 25th of March at Haydock Golf Course. And you can get your tickets from lesliepilling61@gmail.com. So, and those are going to be auctioned for charity. So the money auctioned, generated by the auction, is going to go to a good cause. Now, this is something that I am very, very interested to see. And the results are lover 13%, friend 85%, and employee only 2%. So that is quite interesting, isn't it? I suppose a lot of people, even female people, females thought, well, if I was his lover, I wouldn't have him for very long, because as we know, Elvis did go through quite a few young ladies in his time. But if I was his friend, I would have probably been his friend for a long, long time, because he was quite loyal when it came to friendships. An employee, only 1% would have wanted to have worked for Elvis, because maybe it wouldn't have been much fun working for Elvis. Maybe cutting his grass or something like that. You probably wouldn't have seen him that often anyway. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Overwhelmingly friend, and I think Elvis would have made an absolutely great friend. I do. I would hasten to add that it looks like there's going to be no more calls on the subject of what effect did the divorce have on Elvis, but I'm sure there's going to be people leaving quite a few comments about that topic during the week on playback, when they watch this on playback. Don't forget, you can also buy me coffee if you want to support this channel. There's a link below and you can buy me a coffee. So that's the new music again, folks, which means that that's the show for tonight. Thanks to all the callers. Great to hear from you. Thanks to Maxine and Ludane for doing a great job on the moderation. And until next week, please look after yourselves. And there'll be another topic and another Fan of the Month quiz and Elvis history and Photoshop and all that sort of stuff. Because it's just fun. Elvis fun, that's what we want. Bye for now.